なんだすごい歓迎されてるけど。スタジオ事務員殺人事件。なんかフラフラしてるけど大丈夫？なんだ
？Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want to.
なるほど。
Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
モラー事件。モラー事件っていうのは以前解決した事件だよね。その時に被害者の指から指輪が取られてて、それを質に入れた人がいると。容疑者の可能性が高いから捜査するってことかな。でもさ、容疑者捕まったよね。じゃあ別に犯人がいるってことなんだっけ、微妙な感じで終わったんだっけな、モラー事件って。なんかこの人を犯人にしとけみたいな感じでだったかな。で今回がスタジオ事務員殺人事件。またも40歳の白人女性が殺され、死体が車両基地で発見された。なんか大体40歳前後なんだよね、被害者の人って。場所はイーストダウンタウンのサンタフェアベニューだ。しかし新たな捜査を始める前に片付けるべきことがあった。ディアドリ・モラーの所持品が最近になって質屋で監禁されたとの報告が入ってきたのだ。地方検察は事件が新聞に載る前に何か手を打とうと躍起になっているらしい。はいはい。じゃあまず質屋に行けばいいのかな。
Another body, and Deirdre Muller's ring. The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
What exactly did you get that book of riddles shoved up your ass, Phelps? Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
Isn't that the cop who solved the big case and got promoted?
You're behind the wheel.
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sakes.
And he always maintained he was set up.
用務員を犯人にしたんだっけ。質店。でもなんか用務員犯人にしたのもなんとなく違うよなと思いながらしたんだよね。
How can I help you boys?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another
50
number.
ドル
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
なんで2個あるの
What's
あ、
this
刻
mark here?
印 H って書いて
Maker's
る
mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
おー、なるほど。
Thanks for the tip. Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
22K。で
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
Be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
でもこの住所って正しい住所なのかな。あ、見てる。でパーシー・シェリー。間違った。そっか。とりあえず、じゃあ、車両基地しか行けないのかな、今のとこ。
You know the way. You can drive. We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Purpose having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
本当の住所書くわけないよね。
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letter. If the Dahlia letters are genuine, then the man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Muller.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
実は真犯人が別にいるってことなんだね。
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak with the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it.
車両基地。冒頭で殺された人かな。
Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
これがジェイミソンか。これが所持品かな。キーストン映画会社。エブリン・サマーズ。
We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
映画館で働いてた。撮影所で働いてた。
Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
どういうことこ コネチカット州ブリジットポート11。まあ住所はいいか。エルディンへ、この手紙で少しでも仲を取り戻せますように。あなたがお酒を飲むとどういう結果になるかお互い分かっていました。でも私はあなたを責めたり馬鹿にするつもりはありません。あなたに謝りたいんです。でも人を裁けるのは神だけです。だからお願い、母を許してください。あなたの代わりにコネチカットの診療所に連絡しました。今のあなたは病気で治療すれば治ります。あとはあなたの気持ち次第。治療は、そこから破られてる。なるほど。またお酒か。なんか、お酒でダメになってる人多いね。これで殺される女の人。メンシュズバー9番とメインの角。
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her.
これはリバインズ酒屋。スーツケース第2個。スーツケースショー、毛布、枕、ベッド用シーツ。これなんだ？ヘアブラシ、ボーリングのピン。
This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
酒屋なのにお酒じゃなくて日用品を買ってる。いいよ、もう終わったね。あとはこれを調べる。また殴られて殺されてんだね。
Very good.
匂い。
There is the usual evacuation smell, but it appears she's been living rough for quite some
ふらふら歩いてたもんね、そういえ
Very
ば。
strong smell of alcohol.
Well, the autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
路上生活。また、指輪なくなってるね。
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
じゃあ2つの指輪のどっちかはこの人の指輪ってことなのかな。あとは調べたね。はいはい。じゃあこの人に話を聞くのかな。
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your detail?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
この人は
Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand.
この人がそっか死体。
Classic Carmine.
死体に覆いかぶさってたっていう人なんだね。気持ち悪いね。どういう趣味してんだよ。これは何？
Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her
拾っ
purse.
たのね。
I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him. You went through her purse?
Wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
目がやべえな。うん、まあそうなんだね。
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
まあ路上生活してたらしいからね。
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
働いてる？何その顔。
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine.
結局なると。
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
なんか電話のマークが出てるね。
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor. Closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thank you.
はい、リバインズ酒屋。こっちだっけ車。
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going? It reads that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them.
Yeah, I read about that.
Those people are starving. They can't do that.
Want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
荷物を預かってるってどういうこと？ああ、そっか、なんか頼んでたもんね。
You got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins. You know, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
何言ってんだよ。
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her.
あ、そうなん
Alcoholic in a
だ。
liquor store. That was never going to work out, was it?
ああ。
We'll
こ
take a look around.
こに住んでたってこと？何これ？エブリン・サマ
I'm
ーズ。
guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. キーストン映画スタジオ。
でももう閉鎖されたって言ってたよね。
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
仕事してたんだ。これ何？ボーリングのピン。ローリングズボーリング。
Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
あ、ボーリング場はまだあるのね。なんかすごいね。
She wasn't always such a loner.
これは昔の写真ってことかな。アリストテレス形式上学。ずいぶん難しい本読んでるね。ああ、なるほどね。あら、娘がいたの？なんだ？あれ？もう見たよね。あ、さらに調べる。グローベナ・マキャフリー。本を借りてたのね。なるほど。これで、OK だね。どういう経緯でここに住んでたんだろう。まあ、元旦那が友達って言ってたから、行く場所がないから貸してあげてたっていう感じなのかな。それにしたってこんなとこでね。
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit to pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Ma, そうなのかな。お酒臭かったって言ってたしね。
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
そうなんだ。まあね、行く場所がないから場所貸してあげてたんだろうね。
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. To be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
そうなんだ。マキャフリーに関する情報。
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
知ってんのか？
Not personally.
なんかこの人表情が読みにくいな。いやー、でもなんかさっきと違うような気もするね。
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him.
崇拝してた。
From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks.
いい人だね。
Get the guy, huh?
はい。
Evelyn never hurt anybody.
お酒で人生がダメになっちゃった人なんだね、きっと。次がメンシュズバー。はいはいはい。こっちが先なのかな、じゃあ。
You can drive.
こんな時間から空いてんだ、バーって。
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers? What is it now?
今度は
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
たくさんいる？あ、そうなの？たくさんっていうか、一人しかいないけど。
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
あ、
Mind if
こ
I
い
ask you
つ
some
か。
questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
Mm. 嘘くさいな。
Do you want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights,
なるほどね。
that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
被害者との
You
関
say you
係。
barely knew Evelyn?
Yes.
でも本に名前があったからさ、本貸してるっていうぐらいだから、少なくともね、普通に話する程度は
You're
仲いいっ
lying,
てことだよね。
McCaffrey. You look down your nose at Evelyn, but you knew her, and you have some idea of what happened.
I hope you're holding aces. I'm telling you again, I barely knew the woman.
でも崇拝してるって言ったからね。
Why would you lend her your book on metaphysics if you only knew her in passing? It was more than that. A Renaissance man like yourself lending his books to his acolytes.
She hounded me about that goddamn book, and then she lifts it from my apartment and lies to my face that she didn't take it, as if she could even comprehend any of it.
マジで盗んだの？
I saw her go into a hotel with Tiernan last night. They had booze in a paper bag.
ティアナン。
He's your man.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey.
まあ酒買ってたって言ったから、まあその人がちょっと怪しいかもね。
You a friend of Evelyn Summers?
Who's asking?
Very cute. You know who's asking.
I know my rights.
You don't have any. Answer the question.
Evelyn mooches for drinks. I don't have any time for that.
Was that so hard?
Keep writing me, copper.
あ、この人はじゃあ別に重要なあれじゃないんだね。どうしよっか。ボーリング場に行けばいいのかな。
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
なんだ無線がちょっと動きおかしかった今。
11 King.
中央署へ戻れ。なんだ
11 King, en route. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
じゃあ先に行くのかな。